YouTube. What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. What's going on? Yeah, man, what's going on? Oh, man, what's going on? It's been a long time. Yeah, man, same old stuff. Running under my authority and making money. Trying to do the best I can out here. New house, you just got unloaded? You got an LLC? New Hampshire? You way up there in New Hampshire. Man, I ain't been up in New Hampshire in a long time. It's been a minute. It's been a long time since I've been up in New Hampshire. Woo! I'm just thinking like it's. I used to go up there all the time when I was a company driver. They used to send me these loads. And it sucks because the only truck stop up there in New Hampshire. Now, New Hampshire's got some truck stops, but they're mostly mom and pop independent ones. But last time I've been up there, the only truck stop in New Hampshire is that damn TA right there off of, I think it's 95 or 93. I'm not sure if it's not I-93 or I-95, but it's that one TA. And it's a very small TA. It's a very small TA. It don't have that much parking. And I just remember going up there in like winter storms, and it just seemed like the whole country up there, you know, piled up inside this little truck stop in a winter storm. But you know, these mega carriers, they abuse company drivers. You know, they abuse company drivers. New Hampshire's only 35 feet long. Oh, man, you funny. Mr. Madison, contract freight. General freight or contract freight? I don't get what you mean. I mean, I don't have no customers, man. I've been busy I got plenty of time to get some contracts. I ain't in no hurry. I'm only got 4 or 5 months in business. I got plenty of time to get customers, but right now, I'm trying to get past my audit. I'm trying to get through my audit, get through my first year in business, get stable, get some good cash reserves going. I'm trying to get this trailer paid off. I'm trying to get my truck paid off, and go from there. I'm trying to clear out some debt, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. You know, I want to get this business real stable. You know what I mean? As close to debt free as possible. I know I ain't gonna never be debt free, but I want to get more stable. I want to get a good, solid cash reserves going. Something that's a good number that I feel comfortable to step out here and approach a direct shipper. You know. Because it makes absolutely no sense to step to a direct shipper with one truck. It don't make sense. Because in order to service that customer the way that you want to service them, you won't be able to do it because you know, you don't, your business isn't stable enough to service that customer properly. So that's just my opinion. I know a lot of guys, they're in a hurry to go and get direct shippers and stuff like that, but me personally, I don't think my business is stable enough to handle a direct shipper. Because, you know, you go to a direct shipper with one truck, they're going to want, most direct shippers, you know, they're going to have a lot of freight moving around, and they're going to have a lot of freight moving around. I want to be able to service that customer, you know, real good. I want to be able to just go and hire a couple guys, say, hey man, I got a direct shipper. I want to be able to hire a couple guys, and I want this business to be financially stable enough to be able to just go and just build a business the way that I want to. So that's just my opinion. And right now I'm just trying to get stable. I'm trying to get past my audit. I'm trying to learn how to run an authority. You know what I mean? I'm trying to learn how to run authority. You know, I'm just trying to learn how to run authority. That's basically, you know, I'm only got 4 or 5 months in business here. So I mean, I've been in trucking a long time, but on this side of trucking, I'm only got 4 or 5 months in business. So, you know, I got plenty of time to get a direct shipper. Plenty of time. Me personally, I just don't feel comfortable approaching a customer, and they're going to be asking you questions. Okay, they're going to want carrier references. They're going to want business references. They're going to want, I mean, it's, a lot of you guys probably think I'm crazy. Oh man, don't worry about it, man. Just go out there and do it. But I mean, I'll make the move when I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do it. I'm not in a hurry. I'm making decent money right now. I'm making enough money right now where I'm okay, where I'm just trying to take baby steps at this thing. So first, I want to get past my audit. I want to have a large cash reserve. I'm just stacking up cash so I can make the moves the way that I want to make them. So that's just my opinion. Some of y'all may disagree, but that's just my opinion. So I want to be able to buy a couple trucks cash. I want to be able to buy a couple trailers cash, or be able to go and negotiate a deal with Metro Trailer in the event that, okay, I get a direct shipper. They're going to be like, well, we're busy right now. Can you handle the capacity? I wouldn't even know what to do. And so I just have to take my time and do my due diligence on that. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to handle a direct shipper. I don't even know how to approach a direct shipper. But with due time, I'll get there. Plenty of time for it. 4 months in business, yeah, plenty of time. So take my time. You know, I'm not in a hurry to run and crash and burn. Slow down. Figure this thing out. Okay. Because as fast as I can get a direct shipper, as fast as I can lose one. And, you know, that's just my opinion. You know, like I'm trying to do stuff in real estate. I'm trying to do stuff outside of trucking. So it's a lot of moving parts on this thing. So I'm just taking my time, figuring things out. Thanks for your call. Oh yeah, man, what's going on? Teamprinsloo Logistics. I like that name, Teamprinsloo Logistics. Yep, delivering right now, exit 3. 404, you always trying to get paid. Yeah, man. You know, it's trucking. It's a lot of opportunities in trucking. You just got to be willing to work for it. You know, you know, like I was talking to my brother and he was, praising me and stuff about, how, he's proud of me and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not doing nothing no more than the next guy. You know, I'm just a hard-working dude. So that's just what it is. The only thing I know how to do is work hard. If it's something that I want, I just go work for it. So I just work hard for it. So if I want 20 rental properties, ain't no other way that I know how to get it other than getting out there and working for it. I want a fleet of trucks. Okay. I wanted to get my authority. Well, ain't no other way to get your authority is but to go and get your authority. Nobody ain't gonna hand it to you. So that's just how I was raised, like like I grew up in a single parent household, but I had my brothers, I had my uncles, and my father, he wasn't in my life like that, but my uncles and my brothers, they supported me. They taught me the values of hard work and stuff like that. And I think I turned out pretty good. I'm not in jail. I'm not standing on the corner. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I don't beg nobody for nothing. So if it's something that I want, I just go out there and work for it. So that's the deal with that. So yeah, so yeah, man. So that's what it is, man. So with due time, I'll get out there and start digging around and reaching out to direct shippers and whatnot. But for now, I'm just trying to get stable at this point. Get this trailer paid off. And get this trailer paid off and some few other things. Let me see what y'all talking about. 404 trying to get a truck. What you think about International Cummins engine from Longmont, 300K miles? Yeah, that ain't bad. International with a Cummins. Yeah, that's a strong engine, man. Them Cummins engines, though, those Cummins engines, you got to watch out for them. You got to keep them clean. The EGR valves, they collect carbon. So right around 200,000 miles, every 200,000 miles with them Cummins engines, you wanna take them to go and get clean and get the EGR valve cleaned, and you can Google on YouTube and you can see what I'm talking about. It's just how the Cummins engines designed, how they got the recirculation, regeneration thing, whatever they call that thing. How it recirculates back through the engine, how they got it designed. You just got to keep them damn things clean. But other than that, them Cummins engines are strong engines, reliable. It's just with this emission stuff, man. You just got to keep them clean. For one, I understand the cost to keep them to clean them is I think it's about $400 or $500 to get a EGR cleaning. If you have a Cummins, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go to a shop and ask somebody. You got to keep them engines clean. Detroit's, you know, you can clean your EGR valve, but it's not as mandatory like the Cummins. Like the Cummins is mandatory. It's just how they design. Like the carbon builds up in the intake manifold, and you know, that carbon start getting all over the sensors and stuff. Like you got to keep that. You got to keep that EGR valve clean, man. It's that thing. It's terrible. Mr. Madison just contract freight so you can negotiate. Yeah, the ISX pre-admission engine, the pre-admission Cummins is pretty good, but once they start putting all that emissions junk on it, yeah, it just mess everything up. But as long as you keep it clean, from what I'm hearing, it's a good engine. You just gotta keep it clean. You take it to a Cummins engine shop, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. And I think it's about anywhere from $300 to $500, depending on where you go, for EGR cleaning. I knew it was a doggone dog. It's a dog out here. JB Hunt is advertising owner-operator to contract with them. Yeah, they probably advertising for that power-only deal. I don't want that mess. I mean, if you don't have a trailer, but the way that they got it designed is basically you a glorified lease operator. That's basically what you're doing. You're a glorified lease operator. Call the recruiter up, call the carrier relations rep up, and talk to them and ask them about the program and let them tell you how it works. That program is no more than a glorified lease program. It's like you went and got a truck and you leasing your truck on the JB Hunt. Not a good deal, because they got so many restrictions and requirements on it. It's almost like you might as well just be leased on. You might as well be leased on. Like, you know, they kind of treating you like a company driver almost. And like I said in my last video, I would do that deal if I had drivers and I had some trucks and I can just put 2, 3, 4 trucks on a JB Hunt and let JB Hunt run my trucks. I would do it that way. It's kind of like what guys like LaShawn and Woody is doing with RST. I would do the same thing that those guys are doing. I'll do that with JB Hunt. It's a similar situation. So, but I wouldn't do that deal. You can do better. You can do better. You have more freedom, more flexibility, brokering loads on the load boards. 2014, 2015. I mean, to be honest, man, I would find something with a Detroit in it. That's just my opinion. You know, unless you already got your mind set on the truck, I mean, don't get in a hurry, man. Take your time and shop around. Take your time and do research on these trucks. Okay, take your time, man. Don't get in a hurry and be like, oh, I need a truck. You know, take your time and do research on this equipment, man. Do your research on Cummins Engines. Okay, do your research on Detroit Engines. Okay, Don't worry about so much the truck. Worry about the engine, because that's the equipment that's doing the work. The engine is doing the work. The engine and the transmission. The truck, it don't matter. International, freight line, it really don't matter. But, you know, I would stay away from them damn pack car engines. Anything with a pack car engine, stay away from it. Stay away from it. Because anytime them damn things break, you got to take it to pack car. Okay? You can't take it to, you know, anything go wrong with it. Sensor is proprietary. So you got to take it to pack car. You know, and they're going to get you on the price. Because you can't go nowhere else. There's no competition. But like with a Detroit, you can take that thing anywhere. A Detroit, you can take it to TA. You can take it to Love's. They'll work on it. You know what I mean? Because Detroit is Detroit engine is a tried and true engine. Everybody know how to work on it. I would go with the Detroit, man. That's just, I don't want to sound like a Detroit fanboy, but it is what it is. It's a very popular engine, and you can't get around that. When you're talking about business, having a lot of flexibility in business, having a support system, a network, okay, being able to take your truck just about anywhere. You can work on your truck in the driveway. There's nothing specific about it. Get a Detroit. Second engine in line is a Cummins. You know, but I would go for something with a Detroit in it. My opinion. I'm sorry. Y'all probably gonna call me a fanboy, blah, blah, blah. You got to look at the common sense of the whole situation. You got to look at the business side of the situation. Don't get too emotional about it. Oh, this. No, man. It's business. Think about it as a business and say, okay, if your truck breaks down in the middle of nowhere, what are your chances of somebody knowing how to work on it? Your chances are, if you got a Detroit, your chances are, Detroit is just a very popular engine. A lot of mechanics know how to work on it. You can pretty much Google any mechanic. If you're on the side of the road and you need to have somebody come out, they know what's wrong with it. Oh yeah, but EGR valve. Oh yeah, it's the water pump. Quick. You know, they can diagnose it over the phone that fast. But if you got some specialized engine with some specialized sensors and stuff like that, and you got a part that's so special, and it's a Saturday, your truck breaks down on a Saturday, you gotta wait for the shop to open up on Monday, or they gotta ship the part from Japan some damn where. You don't want that. You don't want that. Okay? So you just got to think about that. The support, you know. A Detroit, you could pretty much get parts any damn where. You can get them parts anywhere. Love's, TA, Fleet Pride. They're very popular, abundant support system for a Detroit. Cummins as well, but not as much as a Detroit. So that's my opinion on that, man. If you can, find something with a Detroit in. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure on the new Cummins motors, but I know they used to have injector issues. They have good power and torque, though. Do I know how to get a direct shipper? The only thing, a lot of it is common sense. The only thing I know about getting a direct shipper is just, like this place here, it's a very small customer. They got like 2 docks at this place. Very small customer. They produce beverage products, coffee and cappuccino and stuff like that. So I can simply just go in here and offer my services directly to this place and ask them, do they need, are they looking for truck services, shipping services, you know, just like that. Or call the owner of this place or the shipping manager and send him an email and solicit my truck and say, hey, I'm a small business in Georgia. I was looking for new business opportunities. I want to offer my services to you. Do you need truck services? Do you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Simple. That's, from my understanding, that's how you get a direct shipper. You know, when you're talking to a broker, you can bypass the broker and just go straight to the shipper. I've talked to a lot of places out here directly, you know, and it gave me insight, you know. So, like these small shippers like this, it's very easy. Now, the big ones, it's hard, you know. It's not hard, but it's not as easy as a small shipper, because a small shipper, you got more room. Like, they may not require you to be on time. Like a small shipper, they'll have business hours between 8 and 5. You can deliver anytime. You can ship anytime between. But like a big shipper, like a Procter & Gamble, they got specific appointment times, and they want you to be there at that time. And they got capacity requirements. You got to have 4 or 5 trucks or something like that. You know, that's out of your league. You can't mess with that. But you can get a direct shipper, small customer that ships a couple widgets or something like that a week, you know, with 1 truck. So, but at this point, I'm not necessarily worrying about that right now. I'm worrying about trying to get through my first year in business, get stable, get this paperwork, get a program going for the paperwork. So eventually I want to be able to hire some guys on. That's what I'm trying to, you know, once I get a system going for the paperwork, get a system going for the ELD system, tracking IFTA and stuff like that, just get a streamlined, stable system going, then I'm start branching out into other things. But at this point, I'm all right. The M14 Cummins was the best Cummins motor. Yeah, that M14, but see, the thing is, the ISX came out, and, you know, it came out with all this emissions junk on it. You know what I'm saying? Pre-emissions, the M14 is like Detroit's version of the Series 60. Let me put it that way. And I'm trying to think of the Caterpillar equivalent, because Caterpillar is a damn good engine. They're expensive to work on. You know, they're expensive as hell to work on, but they're a damn good engine, strong as hell, got a lot of power. But for a good work truck to do a job, Cummins in Detroit, you know. Okay, cool, thanks. Just research most common. Right, just do a lot of research, man. I mean, as far as research is concerned, I would suggest even when you do settle on a truck, see if you can buy the service manual for your truck, for your engine. The service manual, not the manual that you get when you buy a truck. I'm talking about the service manual. The service manual is a thick book, and it's what the mechanics use to work on the truck. The service manual is going to tell you the part numbers for certain parts. It's going to tell you how long does it take to repair a certain issue or something like that. It's what the mechanics use. They're very expensive, but I found one online. I have to find a link to it, but I found Daimler Chrysler service manual. It's online, and you just pretty much it's a flow chart kind of situation. So you can put in like a part, and it's going to tell you the part number, and it's going to tell you the location of the part, and it's going to have like a schematic a picture on, you know, a pull away, like sliced diagram of what the part looks like. I suggest doing that if you think about buying a truck. You know, see if you can get the service manual for your truck. They got online versions, and then you got the actual book version. The book version, for what I was seeing, they're very expensive. They're like $1,000, $500. But you could probably find one on eBay. I've seen them on eBay for like $100. I suggest that, getting the service manual. For all my cars I've bought, I always, when I buy a car, a little bit after that, I go buy the service manual for the car. And I love having the service manual because it breaks down everything. It's got the part numbers to everything. A light bulb part number, a bumper, anything you need for that truck. You can just put that part number into Google and find out where to get it. You can find a good price on it. You can find, you know what I mean? You can find the OEME, the factory part for that part. And that's very important. You know, getting good quality parts for a good price. So, get that service manual if you're thinking about buying a truck. Schneider driving you nuts? You trying to follow my path? Hey, I mean, I know everybody want to get their own authority, but getting your own authority for some people ain't for everybody. You know, you rather may want to just stay at Schneider. I don't know. I spoke to SFI and they explained what residual value was. Totally changed my perspective on this lease. Yeah, you know, residual value is basically the price that the truck, well, it's not what the truck is worth. It's what they think is going to be worth after a certain amount of time with a certain amount of miles on it. They probably got a more technical explanation, but it's not what the truck is really worth. So it's basically, you know, leftover value on equipment. But I mean, I did my research, and my truck has got about 400,000 miles on it, and their residual balance, their residual cost, it keeps up right in line with what trucks are going for in the marketplace. So that's why I haven't given back the truck yet, because once the truck costs more than what the average truck out here costs, then you kind of wasting money. But like right now, my residual is about 38,000 or something like that, 39,000. And I looked up, you know, a Freightliner, Cascadia, and this model is a CA125. It's a CA125 model. It's a base model. And I looked around models with a 10-speed in this condition with 400,000 miles. You looking to pay right around about 50,000 somewhere, you know, about 45 to 50,000. So I'm right in line with what the trucks go for in the marketplace. So, I'm right in line with what trucks go for. So some guys may say it's a ripoff, but a lot of guys don't know what the hell they're talking about, because I'm in a lease purchase. This ain't no lease. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just throwing money away. You know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I said, I got like 39,000 left on this truck, and beginning of next year, the truck will be paid for. But I guess other guys, you know, they want to run other folks' businesses for some reason. Oh, get that truck back. Whatever. You stupid. stupid. Yeah, man, what's going on? Let's see. Do I know how to set up a holding company? I don't want to say I know how to set up a holding company, but you basically create a LLC. You create a series of LLCs, right? You probably create maybe 3 or 4 of them. Like, for example, you have ABC Company LLC, right? I never created a holding company, but from my research and what I know now about LLCs and companies creating corporations and stuff, I'm assuming it's pretty easy. So you create maybe 3 or 4 companies, right? You create ABC Holding Company LLC, and then that holding company is going to own 2 or 3 other companies. So the holding company is going to just be a company that handles the money and the finances and stuff like that, right? And then for the sake of liability, that's what a LLC is for. For the sake of liability, you would have like ABC Holding Company, but then you would have ABC Trucking LLC. And then you would have ABC Brokerage LLC, ABC Leasing Company LLC. So then for the sake of trucking, you would have a trucking company, a brokerage, and a company that holds the equipment, like a leasing company, like what Schneider does. All the big companies do it. Because if you look at like Walmart or all these big companies, if you look at Walmart private fleet, Walmart, the company, don't own the trucks. They have a separate LLC for the trucks, and then a separate LLC for the distribution centers, a separate LLC for the retail stores, a separate LLC for employees and benefits and stuff like that, a separate LLC for insurance and stuff like that. Like these companies, they can afford to self-insure. So they create a separate company, So either you can do an S Corp or C Corp, or you can just create a whole bunch of LLCs. So that's how I think you can start a holding company. I was thinking about starting one because I was going to put my rental properties in an LLC, and I was going to put my trucking in an LLC, and then I was going to create a separate LLC to hold the trucks. So that way I can lease the trucks back to my own company. So that could be a tax write-off to myself. I thought about doing that when I pay the stuff off. I thought about doing it, but if I get to like 100 trucks, I'll look into it. But for now, it just makes things way too complicated. That's not really something you need to be worried about, So I didn't do it. So like my rental properties, they're in my own name. So that's when you're small, that's the best way to do it, because if you got to go to court or if you have to present documentation and stuff like that, it's cheaper as for a small business. It doesn't make sense when you a small business and you got all these LLCs, you got to comply with commercial federal guidelines. You got to comply with federal reporting guidelines. You don't want to make things complicated. So when I do my taxes, everything is done on a Schedule C, and it's like my rental property, that's the sole proprietor. My trucking, that's the LLC, but that's about it. It just keeps things simple, and you don't want to make things more complicated when you're a small business. So a lot of guys be worrying about too much shit before they ain't even made $1. Go out there and start making some money first. Then we can worry about all this LLC business. But yeah, I may be wrong. I think that's how you run a holding company. I think I may be wrong in a few areas, but that's the gist of it. I emailed you, Fofo. I'm the IC driver who emailed you. All right. I've been looking at the 2015 Freightliner DD15. What you think? 400K miles. Yeah, that seems like a strong truck. It got an APU on it. It probably don't, but most trucks you get from a dealer, they usually don't have them. I would do my due diligence. I do a rig dig report. on it. I'll get the VIN number and call up Freightliner and see what type of claims they had on that truck. I'll try my best to find as much information as possible. So when you go in there, you can negotiate on the price. You want to know as much as you can about this truck so you can negotiate the price. So if they're asking $50,000 and you found out it's some stuff that went down with that truck a while back, well, you can come to the sales table and negotiate the price down a little bit, So you can just say, hey, this truck has had a replacement transmission. This truck has been in an accident. This truck has been in a flood. You can negotiate the price real good when you start learning about that information. So, yeah, just I mean, a lot of it is common sense. To me, it's common sense because, I mean, since I was 18, I've been buying and selling stuff my whole life. So a lot of that stuff is common sense to me. Like I bought and sold houses. I've bought and sold cars. I've bought and sold stuff. So a lot of it is life experience, common sense. Like DMC, you in real estate, treat it just like you doing your due diligence on a rental property. You go down to the courthouse and you get the owners of the property and you want to find all the information you can on this property. Does it have past due taxes? Does it have this? Does it have this? Before you put your money down on the table, you want to make sure that the deed, it's got a clear deed on it. It don't have no IRS liens on it. It's the same thing as a rental property or a property that you're going to buy. Treat that truck just the same way. So you're going to do your due diligence on the truck. Get the VIN number, run the VIN number, do a rig dig report, call down the Chrysler up, give them the VIN number and say, hey, I want to do some checking on this truck. You go look at the truck, check if it's got an accident, but if it's, make sure the serial number, the engine serial number match what's on the paperwork. Make sure that the transmission serial number. It's just a whole lot of stuff, just common sense that you can just follow through. Make sure that you get in the truck that they say that you're getting, And even still, it may not be what it is, but you did your best to go into the sales table and make a good deal on the truck, Yeah, truck parking in Atlanta is tough. You just gonna have to get out there and look. I was lucky enough to find a place to park my truck, so I mean, it's nothing really. Either you can find somebody who got like some extra space, who got a property that's got like some extra space on the back there, and you can talk to the owner and say, hey man, I give you $100 a month. You let me park my truck on your property, or parking in Atlanta is real hard. So it's real hard. I have a 04 International with a cat motor pulling containers. When buying a truck, stay away from DL. Yeah, cool Columbia, but it's 2018. That it's only gonna last for so long. You might as well just get with it. You get with it. I mean, you can play with them pre-admission trucks all you want, but eventually them trucks gonna be illegal to run down the road. So I think sometimes in 2022, 2021 or something, the government, the EPA they won't let them trucks, you won't be able to register them trucks. But I agree, stay away from the DEF as long as you can. If you do find a pre-admission truck, don't spend a whole lot of money on it. I would say $20,000. Make all you can with that truck and give it away and get rid of it. Because you don't want to put too much money in that truck and then find out the government won't let you run the truck. So that's just my opinion. From my research, that's what I've been seeing. Because I was thinking about getting a 05 Freightliner Century, a glider kit truck, but I don't know, man. Schneider Finance charging guys $3K to $5K deposit to move your truck now. Don't do it. I mean, Schneider Finance is just like a dealer. Schneider Finance is just like any other dealer. So sometimes they have deals, sometimes they don't. So when you go to Schneider Finance, they may have a promotion going on at that time and you don't have to put no money down. Like at that time when I got my truck, I didn't have to put no money down. So the only time, that's the only way I do deals, man. I don't put money down on nothing. I don't put no money down on nothing. If I can't get no money down, I just don't do the deal. So I don't put money down on stuff. My house, I ain't put money down on my house when I bought it. Tell you the truth, when I bought my house, I got a check at closing. When I went to close on my house back in 2006, no, maybe it was 2005, maybe it was 2007. But when I bought my house, when I went to closing, I got I think it was like a $2,500 check at closing, because I was a first-time home buyer. I got the first-time home buyer credit. I qualified for no money down, and it was a whole bunch of other stuff. But basically, with the home buyer credit and the seller, all that stuff that they had going on at the time, there was money left over at closing. So I got a check, $2,500. My cars, I don't put money down on cars. Is the philosophy behind that is that you're gonna be dropping money every month on this vehicle, this car, this house, the truck, trailer, whatever you financing. You're gonna be dropping money every month on this, and they're gonna be charging you interest. My whole philosophy is I refuse to give these people my money. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna drop $5,000-$10,000 down when you're gonna be making money off the interest. You know, if you look at the amortization table and you look at the money that you're putting down, in a lot of cases, the money doesn't even get applied to the balance. They just take that money. You putting $5,000 down, they just take that money. So when we talk about Schneider Finance, if they're requiring $3,000 down, like with Schneider Finance, it's different because they don't use credit to make a decision. They use work experience. Like if you've been hopping jobs and stuff like that, and they feel like you're a higher risk of giving the truck back, they're going to ask for a deposit. Now, but if you've been in trucking for 10 years and you've been at the same job for 10 years, you probably have a better chance of getting that truck with no money down. I talked to a whole bunch of guys who got their truck with no money down. Brand new doggone truck. So it depends on how much experience you got. If you coming in there with 3 months experience and you trying to get a truck, yeah, they're going to ask for a down payment because you're a risk. So from what I've seen, and that's just what it is. Schneider Finance, they change their rules all the time. So whatever you saying right now could change next week. They have promotions all the time. And, that's just what it is. Did Schneider Finance require you to put a security deposit down? No, I ain't have to do nothing, man. I ain't have to do nothing. Big Poppy gave his truck back and getting a 2019 next week warranty, but no freaking APU. Damn. I put $1,000 down. They charged me a deposit to move your truck to a different company. $1,000? Damn. Yeah, I think they probably coming up with this $1,000 restructuring fee. They did charge me a fee, but it was like $100. I think it was $100 fee they charged me to go to Travel Loco. But as far as my authority is concerned, they don't have no idea, because once they release you from Schneider and you plate the truck with your own IRP plate, they don't really care, because they're gonna give you that power of attorney when they give you that power of attorney. The power of attorney basically says you can do whatever the fuck you want with that truck. You can do whatever you want. So legally, I can do whatever I want with the truck. But yeah, they did charge me a fee, but it wasn't $1,000. I think they charged me like $100, $200. You got to look at their fee. They got a fee sheet. It's a sheet with the fees on it, and I think to redo the lease, I think it's like $100, $200. That $1,000, they're trying to scare guys from leaving Schneider. That's what they're doing. So they didn't charge me no fee. And even still, if they charge you $1,000, it's worth it. You're going to make that money back in a week. You got to get away from Schneider. It's worth the money. So you need to find $1,000 somewhere and pay them that and get away from there. If you got a maintenance account, they're going to take it out the maintenance account. So it don't matter. Get away from Schneider. I'm just going to tell you. Get away from Schneider. I would say... I would even say go to Travel Loco. You'd be better off going to Travel Loco than staying there at Schneider, running them cheap loads. Since I left Schneider, my average rate per mile on my truck has been about $250 a mile. It's been around $250 a mile. I'm talking about all miles. All miles. Like I get the miles off the speedometer. I'm not talking about what the load pays. I'm talking about deadhead, going to the grocery store, personal conveyance. Like, sometimes I deadhead 200 miles, 300 miles to go home, So, like, these loads pay so good where you can deadhead 200-300 miles and still make good money. You know what I'm saying? And like with Schneider, your profit margin is so thin. Your profit margin is so fucking thin. Like okay, on a Schneider board, you probably gonna do about $1.30, $1.40 a mile. I know I'm gonna have some Schneider nerds gonna come on here. What you talking about? I pull loads of $2 a mile all the time. I'm talking about all miles. All miles. I'm not talking about what the load paid. I'm talking about deadhead, going home to the grocery store. I'm talking about all miles the truck move. So at Schneider, you can't afford to even deadhead because you will book a load for $1.50, $1.60, $1.70, $1.80 a mile. Right? But then you got a deadhead to it. And then you got a deadhead home. And you got to go to the grocery store. You got to take your truck to the shop. You got to take your truck to your mama house or your cousin house. All kind of stuff like that. So that's a lot of miles in your spreadsheet that you don't get paid for. We're not just talking about just running a load. So a lot of guys get caught up. Oh yeah, I got a load that paid $2 a mile. but you had to deadhead 200 miles to get it. Okay? When you left out the house, you went to the grocery store. You deadheaded 20 miles to go to the grocery store. Okay, you was at a customer getting unloaded. They took 4 hours to load you, unload you. You dropped the trailer on the property and you deadheaded 20 miles to the grocery store. You deadheaded 20 miles to go and get something to eat. That all counts on your spreadsheet, on your deadhead. That's deadhead miles that you add into your truck. Okay? And like a lot of guys don't look at that. They just look at, oh yeah, this load paying $250 a mile. No, man. Come on this side where you getting $3, $4 a mile. Okay? When you're deadheading 100 miles, 200-300 miles in a week, you know, the average truck out here is the average is about 200 miles a week in deadhead miles. We talking about going to the shop, getting the truck washed, going to the grocery store, going to get something to eat, going home, out to your girl house, whatever. I mean, for a lot of guys, this truck is their sole source of transportation. So a lot of guys don't have a car. So they're riding around in this truck like their personal vehicle. You got to account for all that miles that you run in the truck for. So once you calculate all those miles, you're looking at about $1.30 a mile. I keep spreadsheets on my truck, and I know what I did. Like, I was getting good loads, you know, $2, $2.50 a mile, right? But once you start deadheading, and the deadhead just eats into your profit, and then you're looking at $1.50 a mile. You know, you gotta get away from Schneider. Get on this side of trucking where you getting loads paying $3, $4 a mile. You can afford to deadhead 100 miles. And once you deadhead, you still making $3.50 a mile on the load. You see what I'm saying? And then in a month, 3-month period, go back and calculate all your miles that you ran, divided by, get your gross revenue and divide it by your miles, okay, and see how much your cost, your gross mileage per mile is. See what that is. You'll be surprised. You like, man, I thought I was booking $2.50 a mile loads. Nope. You did all that deadhead. So that's the truth, man. Then profit margin plus high truck note. Yeah, man, DMC, yeah. The profit margin is so thin. You know, you like running at Schneider, you can't even afford a breakdown. You could probably afford one breakdown and then you can pay for the breakdown, but then you got to get back up out that hole. It's going to take you a long time to get out that hole. You got to be making $3,000, $4,000 a week to get out of a hole like that, you know. A $10,000 repair, you know. A $10,000 repair at Schneider is going to take a long time to pay off. Just my opinion. They told me 2 truck notes plus a 300 rewrite. 2 truck notes. I don't know what damn, they charging people to take the truck? Yeah. They're trying to deter guys from leaving, that's all. But pay it. Find a way to pay it. It's worth it. Find a way to pay it. Find a way to pay it. It's worth it. You're going to make that money back. I mean, to tell you the truth, if $2,000 is a lot for you, you don't need to be messing with no truck. I'm just going to tell you. You know, that's just honest, real talk. If $2,000 is too much for you to handle, because you need to be able to just pay that. No problem. Oh, you need $2,000? Write a check. Here. You should be able to just pay that. Because in trucking, expenses are very, very high. and you should be able to just pay $2,000 on something. Tires cost $3,000-$4,000. A set of tires on your drives, that's $4,000. A set of steel is gonna cost you about $1,000. You know, like a tow, $1,000. You know, you know, a tow is gonna run you about $700, $800, $900. You know, so $2,000. Your base place is $1,500. So you should be able to. You should just be able to just pay that. It's business expense. You know, you should just be able to pay that. I'm not talking down or being big and bad, but I'm telling you the realities of this business. It's very expensive. This business is very expensive, and you need to be making the money to be able to maintain this business. So that's just what it is. Like, you know, you know, this ain't no, you know, and the companies that surround this business, they know guys making good money. And that's why it costs what it costs, you know. They know. But that's just my opinion, you know. That's my opinion. You started 3 weeks ago? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say stay there for about 6 months or a year before you think about leaving. But I mean, technically, you can leave. I would get that $2,000 and get up out of there. I pay that $2,000 and get up out of there. But I mean, the choice board is cool. It's cool, but you know, there's more money out here than the choice board. It's a good place to start. You know, learn how to run a truck and stuff like that. But I be riding by a lot of Schneider IC guys. I'm like, man, wow. You know, like, man, it's just crazy. What's a good rule of thumb for getting your PMs done? I mean, I just go by what Schneider Finance say. Schneider Finance, they give you like this little maintenance schedule kind of little paper. It tells you, you know, a good rule of thumb. For Schneider, they say every 15,000 you get a grease, and every other 15,000 miles you're supposed to get an oil change. So you're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30,000 miles you want to get a PM done. So every 15,000 you want to grease, you know, do a grease job. And once a year you want to get a shakedown. Pretty much what I've been doing, I just been doing every 3 months I'll get a PM done. That's what I've been doing. So I'm actually past due. So great equipment at SFI, although on their base models, they're equipped. I don't know about that, but I mean, if you got the money, you can go to a dealer and get a truck if you got the money. So if you got about 10,000 to go put down on the truck, I would do that. I would go to a dealer and get a truck. But if you don't, Schneider Finance is where you got to start at. So Schneider Finance gave him my start. So Trevon say he do PM on his truck every 20,000 miles. Yeah, that's as long as you doing, man. I bumped in the guys. They told me, man, I PM my truck every 50,000 miles. Nah, I don't agree with that. There's too many miles on that oil. Even the manufacturer suggests you should do it. I wouldn't do it. Because, you know, yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, freight was low last week, but I still made decent money last week. You know, I did a video with y'all. I did 5,800 last week. Some kind of trucker said, don't rush out there and get your authority if you don't know the paperwork game. What's some things you want to drive in to include before purchase? That's a good question, man. Jamaica said, SoCal, don't rush out there and get your authority. It just depends on where you are in my life. Like, I've been in trucking going on 12 years right now. So getting my authority was a natural evolution in my career, you know. So, because I was a company driver for a long time. I did lease stone, and it was time to get my authority, man. I got a little bit of money in the bank, so it was time to get my authority. But if you don't got no money in the bank, you don't know how to deal with brokers, and your first 30 days is going to be tough. Your first 30 days is going to be tough. You know, because when I was at Travel Loco, I didn't know how to talk to brokers. So I was on training wheels because Travel Loco was negotiating my loads with me. And see, let me tell you something how Travel Loco works when you go over there. They require you to be with a dispatcher for 2 weeks. Now, a lot of guys have this concept in their mind of assuming that, oh, I got a dispatcher. They call it a dispatcher, but it's not necessarily a dispatcher. The dispatcher, it's a business relationship. All the loads that the dispatcher books for you, he gonna run it by you. So you gotta understand, that's your truck. If you don't want to run your truck, you don't have to. You don't have a dispatcher telling you where to go. And a lot of guys get this thing in their mind, oh, no dispatcher. Dude, this is your truck. If you don't want to run the load, don't run it. So your dispatcher, all he's going to do is book loads for you. He's going to negotiate your rates. He's going to run the load by you. So your dispatcher, see, this is how your dispatcher is going to go. He either's going to call you or email you. Say, hey, man, what's going on? Hey, I got a load. I got a couple loads here that's going here, here, and here. This load here is paying this much. This load is paying this much. This load is paying with this much. Which load do you want? And usually, because he's got like a handful of brokers that either he got on hold, or he's emailing some brokers, or he's looking at some loads on the load board. And I'll suggest the rate, and he'll negotiate the rate for me. So it's kind of like your authority on training wheels that first couple weeks. Ain't nobody telling you what to do and all of that. That ain't how it work, man. Like when I was a company driver, the idea of a dispatcher is like they send you a load and you run it. You don't ask no questions. It don't work like that. When you leased on the Travel Loco, when your dispatcher calls you, he's like, hey, I got this load. It's paying $1,200. And I'll be like, this load going this way. Can you negotiate about $200 more on it? You think I can get $1,400? I was like, hold on. He'll put me on hold. Okay, man, I got you 13. He didn't take 1,400 on it, but I got you 1,350. Okay, cool. I'm gonna send you the rate con. And he sends me the rate con. The rate con's got the address, pickup numbers, all that, the rate, everything on there. And he signs it. That's how Travel Loco works. But a lot of guys, for a lot of people, that's a decent situation to be in. You still got control of the rate. You still got control of the loads that you want to run. But at the same time, you got that back end support. Somebody could be looking for loads for you, taking care of, Raycons and carrier packets for you and stuff like that when you can go down the road. So when I was at Travel Loco taught me a whole lot of stuff when it comes to dealing with brokers. I had no idea. Coming off the choice board, all I know is the little video game choice board. That's all I knew. But when I went to Travel Loco, they taught me a whole lot of stuff, man. I learned a whole lot of stuff dealing with brokers, knowing how to strong on a broker, get the rate that I'm looking for, and lump of fees, and how to make sure I get paid and stuff like this, dealing with TONUs and detention and stuff like that. So a lot of you guys that's at Schneider and you just jumping over to your authority, you can do it, but you gonna be, it's a lot of stuff that you don't learn in between. And I think, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know. So, I mean, I bump into guys, they like, man, it can't be that hard to get your authority. Okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think I gotta get out of here. There's only 2 docks here, and this place is real small. Let me pull up. Oh, man. All right, hold on. Let me answer this question real quick. What are some things you want a dry van to include before purchase? Now that I've been out here for a while, a dry van, what you absolutely need on a dry van, is logistics posts. That's mandatory. You gotta have logistics posts. E-Tracks or logistics posts. If you can get both, that'll be great. Because I've seen some loads that said in the description, must have E-Tracks. No logistics posts. Must have E-Tracks. I don't know what that's about, but logistics posts, they go vertical, and from my experience, like logistics posts, they provide the same job as E-Track. So I don't get why they want E-Track for, but hey, but you got to have some type of latching device in your trailer so you can latch down freight. Get you about 10 or 15 load straps. The ratcheting ones. Don't get the pull type. Get the ratcheting ones. The one that ratchet type. Some guys like to run the poles. I don't agree with them poles. You wasting your time with them poles. Because you start hitting the bumps and the trailer wall start flexing. The poles just fall down. You're just wasting your time. And you got to tote them poles behind your truck. You just got to find somewhere to put them poles. And it's just a lot to keep up. With straps, I can just wrap them up and just stick them in the side box. I'm trying to think of some. I mean, my trailer is stock. I didn't order it. Nothing. It was just a stock trailer on the yard, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I got a trailer, and this is the price," and I bought it. I didn't know what I was doing, to tell you the truth. But the point is, like maybe you can learn from my experience and do some more due diligence when you're shopping for a trailer. So, if you want to pull some heavy freight, I would suggest getting a paper tempered trailer, a paper tempered, quote unquote, paper tempered trailer that's got a high floor rating. You know, the floor rating, 25,000 pounds or something like that, that can hold at least a 20,000 pound forklift. So, I'm not sure what the dealers call them, but I know them as paper tempered trailer. It's used to haul paper rolls. So it's been a few times where I've seen like loads that I couldn't pull because my trailer the floor rating is not strong enough to pull that freight. So usually that type of trailer, when you put your hand, the beams that go across the floor, and you stand outside the trailer and you put your hand between the rivets, you want the rivets to be this far apart. That's what you want. But if the rivets are like this far apart, it's not a paper tempered trailer. You can probably get away with a couple of loads, but over time, that heavy freight, it's going to tear your trailer up. It's going to tear the floor trailer up, the floor and the trailer up. So, see, but the thing is it's a pro and a con, because if you get a paper tempered trailer, if you get a paper tempered trailer or a heavy duty trailer, usually what's going to happen is that trailer is going to be heavy and you won't be able to pull as much freight that you usually, because like my freight, the empty weight on my trailer, I think it's like 12,000 pounds or something like that. That's pretty light for a drive-in. That's pretty light. So I can pull with the weight of my truck and a trailer with a full tank. I can pull like 46,000 pounds, 46.5, and I'll be right at gross 79,000 and change. Like I've hauled some beer loads that I thought that I was going to be way overweight, 45.5, and I'm still like 78,000 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a pro and a con when you think about a trailer. So it's like, yeah, you can get a lighter trailer, but then you won't be able to pull the paper rolls or big. I've seen like these big rolls of steel. I've seen those. I'm trying to think of some other things that you would want. I mean, some guys, they want scales on their trailer. They want the air slide and all that. That's not really important. You want the equipment to do the job. And I'm thinking the things that you would need to do the job is logistics posts. The walls, you need the walls to be composite walls. You have a better chance of getting some freight. I would even go as further as getting DuraPlate. DuraPlate is a very popular trailer out here. I would say 25% of the freight out here requires a DuraPlate trailer. So, like I've seen loads on the load board that I couldn't pull because I don't have a DuraPlate trailer. Now, you ain't gonna go out of business if you don't have a DuraPlate trailer, but it opens more opportunity to pull more freight. So I would suggest getting a DuraPlate trailer. Getting a trailer that's paper tempered and logistics post. You get those three things, you can pretty much pull 98%, 99% of freight out here. You can pull what the trailer that I got, I can probably pull about 95% of the freight out here. 96, 97% of the freight. That's still a lot of freight. But from what I've been seeing, I can't pull every doggone thing just because, like I say, some loads require DuraPlate. Some trailers, some places require logistics posts. Not logistics post, but E-track. Some places require air ride and stuff like that. The air ride thing, it's not a big deal, but if you can get an air ride, get an air ride. There's a bunch of things I would suggest. Some air vents on your trailers. You know, if you see a trailer with some air vents, try to get some air vents. And something to carry a spare tire carrier under your trailer. But other than that, DuraPlate is a Wabash brand. So Hyundai, they call that DuraPlate. They call it HD. They call it HD plate or something like that. So when you say DuraPlate, that pertains to a Wabash trailer. But Great Dane and Utility, they just call it a different name. So you just got to figure out what they call it. I think other company, they call it HD or something like that. Or they may not call it DuraPlate, but they may call it plated walls or something like that. So it just depends on, you know, but the DuraPlate, that's a trademark from Wabash. So you just got to be careful on when you say, because if you call Utility up, they ain't gonna know what you're talking about. They'll know what you're talking about, but they don't carry a quote unquote DuraPlate in their lineup. Yeah, they have equivalent. They have an equivalent. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what it is. I'm trying to think what they call it. They may just call it plated walls or whatever. But with my trailer, it's designed to last a long time because it's got the composite walls, and like my walls take a beating. So like when you go to these places, they running a forklift in and out your trailer. Having that composite wall is good, because if you have a DuraPlate and they run across your walls, you don't have no insulation between the outside layer of the trailer and then the inside. So like they can run against the wall and you got some type of cushion. So if they run the forklift against the wall, but like with a DuraPlate, you don't have that cushion. If they run the trailer going along the wall, they're gonna rip a hole through it because it's just a sheet of aluminum or whatever. So if they run up against it, they're gonna put a hole in. So that's just, it's a pro and a con to each one. So it's a pro and a con. But I mean, fixing a hole in the trailer ain't hard. So you just get some caulk or some sheet metal screws and some caulk and a piece of metal and fix it and go on down the road, man. It's, you know, that's just what it is. But yeah, no wood walls. Don't mess with wood. Don't mess with wood. I see guys got them wood trailers. I don't even know why you waste your money on a wood trailer. Do not waste your money on wood. If the trailer got wood inside of it, don't mess with it. Leave it right where it is. Because I would say more than 50% of the freight out here is going to reject you because of that. I done talked to guys at Travel Loco who got them wood trailers, and I'll say 50% of the time, and 50% of the time you call up on the load, you're going to be rejected because you got them wood walls. And a lot of the freight out here requires you to just have a clean, no fiberglass ceiling, none of that garbage, just all metal interior. That's what you're looking for. But you like my trailer? It's not the best trailer in the world, but it's a trailer. You know, it's a trailer. Like I say, if I can go back when I was buying a trailer, I would have got one with heavy duty floors that can handle high floor rating. Because there'd be a lot of loads I want to pull, but I can't pull them because they require, you know. But I mean, it's a lot of freight on the board, so it ain't no big deal. You know, just find another load, man. It's just find another load. I mean, I would check out Strick. Strick has got a good price on trailers. You can buy Strick trailers direct. I think with Strick, you can get a brand new trailer out the door after taxes about $26,500 out the door. But you have to go directly to Strict. You have to pay all them taxes and stuff. But that's what I would do. I would go directly to Strict. I think Wabash sell their trailers direct too. So I would see if you can go directly to the manufacturer. You might have to travel a bit. Find out in your area if there are some trailer manufacturers close to you, and if you can go directly, call the 1-800 customer service number to the manufacturer and see if you can find the direct sales department and see if you can buy a trailer direct. Because if you don't have the money, 27,000 cash, you can go to your bank and get a bank loan and just go down there and just buy that trailer cash and finance the trailer yourself. Instead of having to pay, you're looking at a good $5,000 worth of taxes and fees that you don't have to pay, you know. Because I look at my trailer was like 26 out the, you know, for the trailer. And then they got dealer fees, taxes, some other miscellaneous fees. It's like another $5,000 worth of taxes and fees. Out the door, I was looking at about $32,000. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have went direct, saved it. You know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I got the trailer and it is what it is. But, you know, Wabash got trailers. Hyundai got trailers. You know, trailer's a trailer, man. You just find one for the best price and go with it. Yeah, the walls are taking a beating, but the walls are insulated. They're composite. So you got the outside walls, but then in between the walls, they got some kind of insulation or some kind of composite material in between the walls. So if a forklift run up against it, you won't see the imprint of it on the outside of the trailer. So it's, you know, is it worth getting vents on your trailer? Yeah, it's worth getting vents on your trailer, because when you have some type of freight like bleach or freight that leaves an odor when you pick up the load, you want to be able to ventilate that smell out of the trailer, because some places they'll reject your load. They'll reject your trailer if you don't, if your trailer smells funny. So you want to be able to vent that trailer. So if you pick up a load of like charcoal or pick up a load of some chemicals or bleach or something like that, that stuff is going to leave back an odor. And you go to the next place that's 30 minutes up the road, you just open up the vents, let the trailer vent out. You get there and now the trailer smells cleaner. It's got a cleaner smell. So you have to worry about them rejecting your load. Now, I never got rejected for that, but I've had some stinky loads. I picked up a load of paper bales. And right when I got unloaded from the paper bales, I got a food grade load after that. I was like, damn. And like my trailer was stank. It was stank, but I swept it out. I sprayed the trailer down with Febreze, and I did the best I could to get that trailer smelling good for the next customer. So, yeah, I recommend it. And on top of that, you can pull some types of produce like watermelon, some types of melons, onions, and stuff like that. Some of those loads require trailer vents. So, but yeah, man, I'm about to get off here. This video is 1 hour and 30 minutes, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all stopping by, man, hanging out with me. I got to go and get this load. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time.